It did not unmute on its own. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovation Coffee, brought to you by ARM. Once again, my name is Robert Wolf, and you may be wondering what's going on here. We have new people in the crowd. We have a different setup. Well, I'm going to tell you about this in just a moment. But as you know, this is the place where we talk about everything ARM developer. And we happen to be, as I said, in a new location. I think we talked about this online in Discord, Cambridge, the Cambridge office. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. So bright. We were in a rush to do everything today. We don't have 3-point lighting. We have 1-point lighting, but it is, on us now. Thank you, Jane. Yes. So today it's going to be a very short one. I promise you we are going to be here probably only about 10 minutes, at the most 15 minutes. We're going to be talking with our guest, Richard Buttery, who will be filling us in on some cool stuff around ARM education. And I am almost ashamed to say that we haven't talked about ARM education on this.
Shameful of you. Right?
I know. Gabe, what do you know about ARM education?
Not enough.
So this is a perfect opportunity for, I think, all of us to learn a little bit more. Yeah. Now, the cool thing here is that we're going to just kind of give you a little bit of a teaser. Since we're in this setup, we don't have all of our right tools. Richard's going to fill us in on a little bit of a teaser. And then I promise we will bring Richard and his crew back to talk a lot more about this. We're going to do some deep dives into the ARM education website, the content that they're building, and all the cool stuff that's going on there. Gabe, did you want to say anything before we move on to the main segment?
No, we have so little time. It would be great to just let Richard have at it.
All right. So, Richard, what we do during these episodes, since you haven't been on one yet, is a quick origin story. You know, what do you do at ARM? Who are you? What's your title, post? Maybe a fun anecdote about yourself.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I've had a really crazy, ridiculous career that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I first graduated in physics way back when. I won't tell you exactly where. And then,
that's amazing.
And then I went to go and work for the Foreign Office. So it's kind of the equivalent of the US State Department. So I worked in lots of different places around the world, in India, in Japan. Came to Cambridge, started to work in leadership development, and by some crazy means, I ended up in ARM in the education team.
Can I ask what branch of physics?
I did nuclear and particle physics.
Nuclear and particle.
Yeah.
I remember specifically the moment, I can't say the exact moment, but the semester of school that I decided to become an electrical engineer. Right. And it was because of mechanical physics.
Yeah.
Our teacher was going over the kinematic formulas.
Right.
And he was a very hands-on teacher, dropping bricks and explaining how the velocity isn't zero when it hits the ground, and having you hold weights and bringing them in on a spinning chair, and watching the centripetal and centrifugal forces pulling you faster. There was lots of cool stuff happening there. Angular momentums.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so that's amazing story. So Richard, let's talk about ARM education.
Yeah, sure.
High level.
Okay. So, I mean, for developers watching, let me ask you a really basic question. To what extent did the schooling that you had at university prepare you entirely for what it is you're doing at the moment? I'm guessing most of you are thinking, yeah, kind of, but there's a gap. And so really that's the whole point of the ARM education program, is to really fill this gap between, the amazing pace of technological change and innovation that's happening in the world, and the education system, which, for good reasons, can be a little bit more slow pace, right? The curriculum develops a more evolutionary way. So how does ARM make a contribution to that? And we really thought hard about that. We actually began, our origin story was by hiring a professor straight out of the university who obviously understood what it looked like from the other side of the table, and designed a whole bunch of resources that would help people kind of bridge this gap. So that includes things for professors who are going to teach in the classroom, but also for stuff that anybody can consume online. So say we're on the edX platform, for example, where people can take our courses. And then more recently, another side of our work is around research groups in universities. So these are not people who are teaching. These are people who are doing creating papers, making discoveries, and we're trying to make the ARM IP available to those people in a way that's much easier and smoother than before.
So it's very interesting. And in fact, maybe I've said this on the show before, but I do serve on the Electrical Engineering Alumni Board of Directors at UCSD.
Right.
And I go to panels every now and then.
Yeah.
And students will ask, what is that one thing that you've taken away from school, right? I usually end up tangenting off my usual self and start thinking about how much ramp up period a new student goes through
Yeah.
when they get their first job out of college.
Right.
The amount of money and stuff, resources that a company like ARM or like any company out there has to spend
Right.
to get that student from scholastic knowledge
Right.
to practical application industry knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is what ARM education is trying to bridge.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you put it so succinctly there, really. This what we use is the ARM technology as a kind of demonstrator platform to understand principles that are really going to be applicable when you actually get into the workplace. And through a whole range of different ways. So code solutions, we have slideware that professors can use. And like I said, also sort of direct to consumer courses that people can take on things like embedded systems, IoT, machine learning, all the kind of themes that people really care about.
You learn this stuff, right?
Yeah, and I was going to ask, are there certain kind of prerequisite areas you tailor this for? Is this meant for students who are maybe in the upper levels of university, or people right out of high school who are just passionate?
Yeah, great question. We're trying to make it really as accessible as possible. So the target audience is predominantly like undergraduates, but actually when we look at the statistics on the edX platform, the people who are consuming this are kind of all walks of life. They may be early career professional engineers who are just like looking to switch over from one area to another, people who want to backfill, there are makers. That's the great thing about these sorts of courses that people kind of self-select.
I realized I should have been a little more prepared. As this goes on, I realize how not prepared we were for this. Still, what is the website for ARM Education?
Yeah, so the easiest way is just people Google ARM and education. That's the quickest way to get to us. And a lot of our resources are actually directly on GitHub, but rather than going there straight away, if you come to our presence on the arm.com website, then it'll take you to all the links that you need.
And you did mention edX, right?
Right.
Do you have a curriculum there, or is it just a few courses? Or
we're building out a kind of portfolio of courses. So we have some that are explicitly around technical areas that I've mentioned, like IoT and ML, and then we also have some contextual content. So we have a really cool one around business models for innovators. Right. So that's kind of again, if you're a developer and you want to understand a little bit more of the context in which the company is working, how does the company make money? How does your contribution sort of fit into that? It's a really fun course.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Richard, gosh, super pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for filling the spot today. I think we definitely need to focus more on ARM education and the stuff that you guys are doing. So this is my promise. And by the way, happy to say hi to Cornelius Eastman. Greetings from frigid North Alaska. Wow, cold over there. Yeah. Mark, thank you for joining us from Oxford. Rebecca from Utah. Hello. I'm not going to say that name correctly, and also does not look like something I can say on live. But hello. Richard, gosh, thank you for joining us. We are going to cut this right now.
Yeah, just before you go, any last things you want people to go to read more about ARM education?
Yeah, like I said, I think the simplest way is if you just Google ARM and education, then like every single link, conceivable link on all of our programs is there. So that's the quickest and easiest way to get to it.
Okay, and as normal, I'm just going to say visit our subreddit, visit our Discord, visit our Twitter. Anything else?
Reddit. Yeah, go to the subreddit. We need people to start posting there. Gabe's the only one posting these ARM daily doses, which are amazing. Don't get me wrong.
It's not me. It's not me.
No, but yeah, so if you enjoyed this broadcast, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the ARM Software Developer YouTube channel to get more interesting and very, very useful resources like this. Check out the ARM Education portal by visiting the link that I posted in the comments. And as usual, anything we talk about on this episode will be shared in the description below. So if you're watching this on demand later, go check out that description and or the comments. You'll get a chance to go visit all the stuff. We will be bringing Richard and his colleagues on for a later episode where we take a look. Gabe and me, maybe we'll poke around the website as well.
The production value will be much higher.
The production value will be much higher. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Be safe. We will see you next week where we have a very exciting episode planned for you. We'll be back in our studios in San Diego next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. UTC. Have a wonderful day from Cambridge. Thank you again, Richard.
Okay.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.